Have you ever installed a video wall? Have you wanted to, but were uncomfortable with the procedure? Or have you simply stayed away from video wall projects because they're just too difficult? No matter which group you fall in, you undoubtedly recognize that video walls are one of the fastest growing segments in Pro AV, and the public demand is increasing as prices go down.
Today we're going to define the best practices for designing and installing video walls of all kinds. We'll also show you some tips and tricks that'll help the process go smoothly and painlessly. And we're going to identify some solutions that are revolutionizing video wall installations so you can take advantage of this fast-growing market and feel comfortable with quoting and deploying your own video wall projects. I'm Clay Stalka.
And I'm Neil Weber. Installing a video wall can be a big project, and even today it carries a big price tag. So the task of undertaking such a project can be daunting for the buyer and for the installer. Understanding the purpose and the expectations will often design a system for you. Whether the intended usage is as signage, information, notification, or entertainment, knowing the application that the video wall will be deployed for will lead you down the checklist of exactly what you need to be specified for the job.
The next item on the checklist has to be location. Now, some famous person once said, location, location, location. It's all about location. Now, whoever that was, they must have been a video wall installer.
I think that was my real estate agent.
First, the ambient light in a space will determine the display product that you will specify. As an example, inexpensive flat panel displays don't have a very bright output. So in a high ambient light area, it'll look like trash. Now, this is compounded in video wall installations because the video wall is intended to be the focal point of a space. So if it looks like trash, everybody will notice how bad it looks.
That's for sure. Some of the options for high ambient light areas include bright commercial LCD displays with high output, and most any choice of LED video wall products. LED video walls can provide stunning clarity and eye-catching visibility in even the most brightly lit areas. They are, of course, the only logical choice for most outdoor applications.
And next, the location will determine the mounting options. Because it's called a video wall, everybody seems to expect that it'll be a wall mount. A typical commercial-grade 65-inch display weighs about 100 pounds. So for a 3x3 video wall with pull-out wall mounts, the total weight will be over 1,000 pounds easily. Now, what do you think happens when you hang 1,000 pounds on your office wall? No more office wall. So a structural engineer will have to be brought in to tell you what it'll take to support the weight of the video wall. If you still want to proceed, a professional carpenter can add support structure and blocking to the wall to adequately support the video wall's weight. Now, this is not a small job, and it costs a bunch too.
Yeah, I can imagine. You might offer alternative to wall mounting. One of those alternatives is ceiling mounting. You can mount to the structural steel or floor joists above and hang the video wall at the desired height. Another alternative is floor mounting. This is ideal when you have a concrete subfloor. You can bolt 2 pedestals to the concrete and build the video wall on those. Another option is a freestanding floor stand. These stands have multiple legs that spread the weight of the video wall across a wide floor area, lessening the load. These stands are best for a wooden subfloor. There are even some roll-around stand options that play off the freestanding floor idea. This can give the owner flexibility when it comes to positioning and when access to the area behind the wall is needed.
Now, the next checklist item is the viewing distance. So we know that best practices for viewing distance are dependent on content. Now, if we're displaying any messaging or content with text, we have to make sure that the text is legible from the farthest viewing distance. Now, CTS teaches us that to calculate that distance, we use the 150 rule. Text height times 150 equals the maximum viewing distance. So for a video wall, it's most likely that we already know the minimum and maximum viewing distances. So we just work backwards. Just take the maximum viewing distance and then divide it by 150. And you then have the required text height. Now, you could dictate the font size to the owner, but that's no way to treat a customer.
That's right.
Instead, we just let this formula determine the size of the display or displays in a video wall, assuming a typical font size.
Right. Nearest viewing distance is also critical. The rule here is that the width of the video wall is the minimum viewing distance, right? So by understanding where the closest viewers will be located, you can determine the maximum width of the video wall. And in addition to viewing distance, we have to take into consideration viewing angles. Best practices dictate that average humans have a 90-degree field of vision, left to right. So we must plan to locate the video wall so that all the viewing angles are within 45 degrees to either side of the video wall's midpoint.
Right. And finally, we need to get an idea of what content will be displayed on your video wall. Will it be still imagery, motion graphics, KPI type data, full motion HD video, or just simple messaging, and perhaps a weather widget and a clock? These are all common use cases for video walls, and by understanding what the intended content will be, it's very easy to choose a video wall form factor and often will dictate the type of display product that's suitable for the task.
We've all been inside a building where the reception area had a large display or a small video wall behind the reception desk, right? A lot of times, those displays show live news broadcasts and have a clock, the weather forecast, and maybe information ticker across the bottom. That's a classical digital signage application. So by understanding that this is the content desired in a moderate ambient light location with expected viewing distances around 10 to 20 feet and at least a portion of the display showing live to television content, you can be very confident in recommending a single large commercial grade LCD display or perhaps a 2x2 configuration of smaller thin bezel LCD displays.
Absolutely. Many, if not most, of the video walls you deploy will require multiple image areas to be displayed on the video wall simultaneously. It could be multiple videos displayed in a collage style across the canvas. It might be a combination of text messaging and graphic content displayed side by side in adjacent areas. It could be multiple computer desktops displayed in a collaborative fashion. In performance spaces, video walls are also used as video backdrops. So yes, it could be basically one giant TV screen. And this could be, used this way as a main display in a big sports bar as an example.
No matter what the layout will be, you'll need a video wall processor to accomplish the task. In anything larger than a basic 2x2 LCD configuration, you can forget about using the display's onboard video matrix processor. And even then, unless you're providing a 4K source to the displays, each display will show an image less than 1080 HD resolution. That's going to look like crap. And even an average viewer will see that the quality is less than their TV at home. So what you'll have to ascertain is the number of sources they have and the number of displays you'll be using in the video wall. That's all you need to know.
So you now see how this works. Application, location, viewing distance, and content. This is your video wall design checklist. With this checklist in hand, you'll have already pretty much determined what your materials list will be. You'll know the display type you'll need. You'll also know the size of the video wall that's correct for the application. You'll know the proper mounting solution required. And you'll know the type of video wall processor that'll display the content that they'll be using. Now, this is not some kind of mysterious art. It's a science based on the needs assessment and a few simple calculations.
They really are. Now, at this point, it's a great time to talk about choosing a video wall processor. As I mentioned earlier, the content dictates the video wall processor. If they have one source and they want to display it full screen across a 2x2 video wall, you need a 1x4 processor. Now, what does a video wall processor do that the onboard matrix processor can't do, you ask? Well, simply put, a processor upconverts source signals so that it uses all of the pixels available on the video wall.
So have you ever watched a YouTube video and then expanded it to full screen? It looked fine in its own little small window, but when it's blown up to a full screen size, it looks really bad. Now this is what happens on a video wall. If you feed a 1080p source into a 2x2 video wall, you're viewing 1920 by 1080 pixels on a 3940 by 2160 canvas. You're only using half the available pixels to display that image. It looks a little coarse, but you could probably live with it to save a buck. But now let's say you're going to send that same source to a 3x3 video wall. Now you're viewing 1920 by 1080 pixels on a 5760 by 3240 canvas. Now this time you're only using 1/3 of the available pixels to display that image. This makes the image look like a wide dot pitch LED sign.
There's
kind of like black space between the usable pixels.
Exactly. Now, if you use a good video wall processor, it will accurately upconvert the lower resolution source, filling in the spaces with the appropriate pixels and delivering the correct full resolution image to the video wall, whatever the size.
And DataPath is perhaps the world's leader in video wall processing. As an example, if you've seen those high-end Christie video walls, well, then you've seen DataPath processors. They build them for Christie. If you've seen the big planar video walls, you've also seen the DataPath processors. But you can buy them directly from Sterin at a fraction of what the other video wall companies sell the DataPath processors for, and then you can put them into your video wall project.
And that's key. DataPath makes single-source processors like the X4 and the new FX4 that will drive a full-resolution image to video walls with an unlimited number of displays. These processors come with Wall Designer software that lets you easily configure any size video wall in minutes. DataPath also makes a new IO-Lite processors that can be configured to provide multiple source inputs and multiple display outputs, and with Wall Control 10 software, you can configure any source to any location on the video wall, which is really cool. Plus, you can save presets that provide instant switching of layouts, allowing for dozens of reliable configurations all at your fingertips.
And for those larger video wall projects like command and control applications, large security monitoring installations, and even for broadcast multi-view operations, DataPath makes the VSN Micro and VSN products that can provide any number of source inputs and display outputs to order.
Speaking of security monitoring applications, Clay, DataPath can equip their processors with SQX IP cards that allow you to directly input multiple IP camera streams to a display on a large display or video wall. Plus, all of their input and output cards are available for sale individually. This means that you can now equip any PC with these high-end video input and output cards for video capture and for multiple monitor output.
You know, Neil, DataPath is distributed exclusively in North America by Sterin. So please contact your sales team to learn more about DataPath and to get a quote for DataPath products for your video wall projects.
As a part of our Visualization Station initiative, we also offer you interactive touch capability for any video wall. It's highly unlikely that you'd want interactive touch on a large video wall that's bigger than your arms could reach, but for 2x2 and 2x3 video walls, as an example, interactive touch can be part of a great collaboration or teaching solution.
And our interactive visualization stations consist of the video wall, a 10-point touch overlay, a DataPath IO-Lite video wall processor, and LayerLogic's Atlas interactive touch-through enabled software. The DataPath IO-Lite lets you connect multiple computers and display them on the video wall. Atlas software lets you move those windows around, resize them, and touch through to actively control the connected computers. This is all done by simply tapping on the screen and then using your fingers to manipulate the windows on the video wall.
One of the ways that Sterin can serve you better is by taking the question marks out of configuring system solutions like these video walls. We're calling this process outfitting. What that means to you is that you can now choose pre-configured systems with everything you'll need to complete the project. In the case of video walls, we include the proper number of displays, the display mounting solution, the video wall processors, and all the cables and mounting hardware that you're going to need for that complete system.
And you know, we test these systems for performance and compatibility so that we can guarantee that it'll work for you right out of the box. We stock all of the system components in our Sterin warehouses across America. Then, we package them safely for delivery and assemble all the components and materials for your project on skids and deliver them to your door in time for your project schedule. Now, as Neil said, we call this outfitting, and it's a pet project of mine and our CEO, Bill Mullen. We've taken a lot of care in providing these kitted packages for your convenience. We're including easy-to-understand instructions for installation and have packed the parts and materials for easy identification. Now, you can still design your own systems and purchase the parts and pieces a la carte if it suits you. but we thought we'd take the challenge out of designing video walls and deliver solid, working systems.
Well, what Clay is trying to say is that you can buy the way you always have from Starin, but when you're embarking on a new journey, like you might be with video walls, we can make it a whole lot easier for you by delivering a turnkey system. In the last few minutes today, we'll show you a couple of the outfitted systems that are available to you.
Well, first, Neil, we have a 2x2 video wall system. This kit contains 4 Barco HVD 5521 near seamless displays. We're outfitting this kit in 4 flavors. The first has pull-out wall mounts for easy installation and servicing. The next has a freestanding floor mount. The third kit has a ceiling mount solution. And the last kit contains a roll-around stand. So each of these kits comes with a DataPath FX4 video wall processor, which can be upgraded to an IO-Lite processor if required. Now, as I said, we include all the cables you need and the mounting hardware that's required to complete your job.
The next outfitted kit we're offering is a 3x2 video wall system featuring the Barco HVD 5521 displays. This kit is also outfitted in 4 variations: ceiling mount, floor mount, wall mount, and roll-around stand. This system comes with an IO-Lite 600 video wall processor, Wall Control 10 standard software, and all the cables and hardware you'll need to complete your installation.
We're also outfitting kitted visualization station solutions for you as well. In the 2x2 configuration that I just spoke about, we're adding a 10-point touch overlay and the IO-Lite 600 configured with 4 inputs and 4 outputs. We're including LayerLogic's Atlas software for full touch-through interactivity and your choice of the 4 mounting solutions. Now, as we said, you'll get all the cables you need and the mounting hardware that's required to complete your job.
And we're offering the 3x2 visualization station kitted up by our outfitting team as well. With this system, we're taking the system I mentioned before, adding the 10-point touch overlay and the Atlas software to give you a turnkey solution for complete touch-through interactivity in a 3x2 video wall configuration. We have so many more ideas for our outfitting team to kit up and make available, but we just don't have enough time to talk about them all here today.
Well, so Neil, let's give away a $50 gift card for one of our friends who's joined us here today.
Let's do that. I love this. Congratulations for joining us again at an AVmeetUP coffee break.
So please tell all your friends and your coworkers to join us again in 2 weeks at this same time, because I'd hope that you would be our next $50 gift card winner.
That's right, and if you've been noticing, I've been blinking the words "I'm drunk" in Morse code. Hey, thanks for giving us your 20 minutes today to learn a few tips and tricks to make designing and installing video walls easy. Please remember to go to our Synergy Center website to get all kinds of resource materials to help you with whatever kinds of projects you might be working on, and be sure to check back regularly because we're constantly adding to our library of videos, white papers, and timely articles on all things AV.
And please join us again for our next AVmeetUP coffee break when Neil and I will give you the complete rundown on the brand new Meeting Owl web conferencing solution from Owl Labs. And also remember, you can go to our website to watch all of our AVmeetUP sessions on demand.
3 words: Powerpuff Girls. For more information, to set up a demo, or to dive deeper into any of our products with a personalized online workshop, I'm not sure anybody remembers the Powerpuff Girls, unless you have kids. Please contact your Starin Business Development Manager directly, or email us at myteam@starin.biz. Hey, our time is up. We do promise to address your questions and interests directly, and it might even be Clay here who calls or emails you with your answer. That would be a big treat. We'll see you again for our next AVmeetUP coffee break. Have a great weekend.
So long, everybody.